Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 21st of March for the Sun or the Ascendant. What I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac sign forecasts. Now this week begins with the Sun finding its way in its new home of Aries. This obviously gives us an opportunity for a sense of renewal, for getting on the front foot with fresh plans, or revitalising the strands that are ongoing with greater energy and enthusiasm. So really exciting stuff. But of course the ruler of the sign of Aries is Mars, and that's in sector 11 alongside Venus in the sign of Aquarius. And Mars comes into a direct and exact right angle with Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the modern ruler of Aquarius, on Tuesday. Now, therefore, it could be a restless start to this week. Mars squaring Uranus can make us a bit more impatient, more easily frustrated with limitations. It could see us experiencing a greater consciousness about those people who share different values to us. We may be more impulsive about spending money. Also, someone could try to dominate us and restrict our freedoms, but equally we can push back on any restrictions that are trying to be imposed on us. So that's an interesting combination. At the heart of this week, also Mercury, in its debilitated journey through Pisces, combines with Neptune. Now this is absolutely awesome if we want to embrace the more spiritual dimension, to do some meditation or perhaps some creative writing or listen to some really enchanting music, but it can make it more difficult to grapple with details, so our concentration could be affected a little bit at the heart of this week. However, later in the week, Mercury moves forwards to forge a very penetrating link with Pluto. Pluto in the sign of Capricorn for that little while longer. It's moving into Aquarius next year, 23, for nearly 2.5 months. And then we'll go into Aquarius in 24 for a longer stay. But that combination between Mercury and Pluto can give Mercury in Pisces, which can be very mutable, can give it a bit more shape. So excellent for thinking behind the scenes of situations, do a bit of probing or research. But Friday's quarter moon also occurs in the sign of Capricorn. And of course, like Aries, this is a cardinal sign, very much about leadership. And I think the energy of the sun in Aries is quite immediate. It's focused on what it wants to do in the here and now, whereas the energy of Capricorn is more about the long established ways that things are structured. So it can be like having to deal with someone in a position of authority, like a line manager. It could be an institution, a governmental agency, and we may encounter some frustration if something we want to do that's new and fresh and exciting somehow receives less than enthusiastic support from someone who's part of the establishment, if you like. But that Aries energy is given a significant boost on Sunday when Mercury, the planet of thought and talk, moves into this sign, and that gives it much more fire, much more thrust. And I think that whole feeling of a new beginning is definitely going to be rejuvenated even more. Now please stay with me for your in-depth horoscope forecast, but if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you'd also like to rise above Zodiac astrology and understand more about your own personal situation, you can take advantage of my special offer of character analysis and a 12-month forecast. Get 30% off. No two charts are the same, and it will give you searing insights for the months ahead. If you'd like to get your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video too, where you can subscribe for that. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 21st of March. Now, of course, last week the sun made its way into your third house, which is very nimble, agile, quick moving, and you'd expect to see the pace of life picking up. But because Venus and Mars are in a conjunction in your sign, which is great for your sex appeal, but Mars has been in an abrasive right angle with Uranus within 3 degrees since last midweek. And by Tuesday of this week, that reaches a peak. And there may be something that's really frustrating you. It may be about an issue linked to your family or to where you live, a lack of personal space, a feeling in some way limited by your circumstances at the moment. And also with Neptune and Mercury tightly bound together on Tuesday and Wednesday, there may be some hazy information around finances that does need to be sorted out. Later in the week, as Mercury breaks away from Neptune, it will get easier to penetrate into whatever you need to understand and come up with the firm answers. But there's a quarter moon later this week, and the best way I can express this is whatever you do, steer clear of the known gossips in your situation. Someone could seize on a little tidbit of information you give them, and before you know it, it's all amplified and exaggerated and shared around with people you don't really want to be talking about your business. So be cautious with your personal information later in this week on the back of that quarter moon. But once Mercury emerges into Aries on Sunday, that really can see the beginning of a really constructive period for you. Now, I know the week following this one, Saturn, your traditional ruler, is going to be clamping down on both Venus and Mars, and that could be limiting. But generally speaking, I think a more progressive period is coming, and that's highlighted by a glorious new moon on the 1st, and the Sun coming into an exact conjunction with Mercury on the 2nd, known as the Cazimi, and your brilliant and innovative ideas can start to gain much more recognition.